All right, let's just jump right in. We're about to unpack one of the most raw, personal, and, truly shocking stories in all of ancient literature. It's a story about a prophet, a prostitute, and a love that is as fierce as it is forgiving. We're talking about the book of Hosea.
So the whole thing kicks off with this staggering command. Just try to imagine being a respected religious figure, and this is the instruction you get from God. It's jarring, it's uncomfortable, and right away you know this story is going to be anything but ordinary. And that, of course, is the million-dollar question, right? It just feels scandalous, maybe even wrong. But as we're about to see, this deeply painful personal act is meant to be a living, breathing symbol of a much, much bigger spiritual drama.
To really get to the bottom of that why, we first have to look at the literal, human side of the story, the prophet Hosea and the family he was commanded to build.
First off, this isn't just some abstract myth. Hosea was a real guy, living in a seriously turbulent time. The kingdom of Israel, on the surface, was doing great. They were wealthy, but spiritually, they were bankrupt. Alliances were shifting all the time, and the people had pretty much abandoned their core beliefs. So that's the world Hosea is stepping into.
And this is where things get even more intense. Hosea's own children become living, breathing prophetic messages. He does what he's told. He marries a woman named Gomer, and they have 3 kids. But their names, they aren't blessings. The first son, Jezreel, is a warning of doom for the king. The daughter, Lo Ruhamah, literally means no mercy. And the third, Lo Ami, means not my people. Can you imagine having to call your own children by names that mean judgment and rejection every single day?
And right here, Hosea's painful family life starts to make this devastating kind of sense. You realize it was never just about him and Gomer. It was all a metaphor for a relationship that was falling apart on a massive national scale. It's actually a really clear parallel. Hosea, he represents God, the faithful, committed husband. Gomer, his unfaithful wife, well, she represents the entire nation of Israel. Her cheating in the marriage is a direct symbol of Israel's spiritual cheating on God. The whole book, and I mean the entire book, is built on this one powerful, heartbreaking idea.
So what did this unfaithfulness actually look like? Well, the book of Hosea gets very specific. They were worshiping other gods, especially Baal. They were playing politics, making deals with superpowers like Assyrian Egypt instead of trusting God. And beyond that, society itself was just rotting from the inside out. Lying, stealing, violence, you name it.
This quote just nails the mindset they had. Israel was looking at all its good fortune, the food, the water, the wealth, and giving all the credit to these other lovers, these foreign gods and political allies. They had totally forgotten that it was God who had given them all those things in the first place.
Now, as you can probably guess, a betrayal this deep doesn't just go unanswered. So the next part of Hosea's message shifts from talking about the problem to laying out the judgment that's about to come.
This famous line from Hosea just perfectly captures it. The idea is that the judgment isn't random, it's a direct consequence. All those small acts of unfaithfulness, these little breezes of betrayal they've been sowing, well, they're about to grow into a destructive, unstoppable whirlwind.
And the language used to describe God's anger is frankly shocking. It's violent. The one who was a loving husband is now pictured as a predator, a lion, a leopard, waiting to ambush its prey. This imagery is meant to show just how serious this betrayal is. This is a love that's been rejected, and its anger is absolutely fierce.
And the punishments are spelled out, point by point. The very land will dry up, their economy will completely collapse, the nation will be destroyed, the people shipped off into exile, and their leaders totally wiped out. It really sounds like game over, the absolute end.
But just when the story hits rock bottom, when it seems like judgment is the final word, the book takes this stunning turn you just don't see coming.
I mean, after all that talk of lions and destruction and exile, you'd think it's over, right? That the relationship is broken for good. But amazingly, that is not where Hosea leaves us.
The shift in tone here is just incredible. The same God who was just described as a lion now sounds like a heartbroken lover trying to win back his beloved. He's not going to force her. The text says he's going to allure her. He wants to take her back to the wilderness, back to where their relationship first began, and speak tenderly to her again.
And that's the real key here. The judgment wasn't the final word. The ultimate message of Hosea isn't actually about God's anger. It's about a relentless, pursuing love that refuses to give up even after the worst possible betrayal. It's about a radical promise to heal what's been broken.
And this whole reversal becomes crystal clear when we look at the children's names again. Remember Lo Ruhamah, no mercy, and Lo Ami, not my people? Well, God explicitly promises to flip their meanings. The one who had no mercy will now be shown mercy, and the ones who were called not my people will finally hear God say, "You are my people." The very symbols of judgment are turned into symbols of incredible hope.
So all of this whole painful, dramatic, messy story, it's all building toward one of the most profound statements in the entire text.
And here it is. This is the heart of the whole book. God is basically saying, look, I'm not interested in you just going through the religious motions. I don't want your empty sacrifices if your heart isn't in it. What he truly wants is a real relationship, built on what the Hebrew text calls chesed, this idea of loyal love, mercy, and kindness, and a real intimate knowledge of who he is.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, the portrait we get of God in Hosea is incredibly complex. This isn't some simple, feel-good love. It's a love that gets wounded. It's a love that feels betrayal so deeply that it erupts in fierce anger. But, and this is the key, at the end of the day, it is a love whose capacity to forgive is even more powerful than its capacity for wrath.
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. Hosea forces us to wrestle with that tension. It suggests that maybe real love isn't passive or indifferent. Maybe it cares so much that it has to be both fierce and forgiving, wounded and healing, all at the same time. It's a huge challenge to our simple definitions of love, and it's what makes this ancient story still feel so powerful for us today.